Hello, and I'm Dark Shiva Gaming, and welcome to my first Magic the Gathering unboxing video. I'm going to unbox the Merfolk versus Goblins duel deck that just came out last Friday, and we're going to open it and see what is inside this wonderful duel deck. So basically, it's going with the tribal theme that has been occurring with the release of Ixalan. So we have Merfolk and Goblins, two classic tribes in Magic. So let's open it up. Wonderful packaging. Oh, yep. So let's see what we got. So we have a couple of deck boxes, you can store extra cards in. As you can see, I think they can hold sleeve cards, and I don't have any sleeve cards with me, so you get two of those. Pretty cool, huh? All right. Oh, yeah, let me screw that one up. Oh, dented it there a little bit. So you get two deck boxes. Let's move it to the side. You get the duel decks, basically, as a poster of all that is inside the duel decks. So you get so you'll get a list of all of the Merfolk, which is basically kind of a tempo island walk deck, and you get the Goblin deck, which is a go fast, go wide deck. So we'll take a look at each one of those tokens. So, all right, so take this apart. So you'll get premium foil, so you get two spin down dies, different colors. This is a nice gray one, and then you'll get a nice green one. Okay, so let's look at this one. So Master of Waves. This one is one of the kind of the game finishers in the typical modern or legacy Merfolks. So it's protection from red, and each elemental creature you get gets +1/+1, and then the monster wave enters the battlefield. You create a number of 1/0 blue elemental tokens. Enter your devotion to blue. So basically, all your creatures that are on the battlefield, you'll get X number of elemental tokens for each creature that has a casting cost with a blue in it. So yeah, that's a pretty good reprint that wanted to come out. So let's see what's in the Merfolk one. I'm actually excited for the Merfolk because I tried building a legacy Merfolk, or not a legacy, a Merfolk using the standard, the one that just came on Ixalan, and it's not really performing too well. So hopefully there's some Merfolk Lords released in the Rivals of Ixalan. All right, so what do we got? We got Harbinger of Tides, which basically you can cast Harbinger of Tides as a hard flash if you pay 2 more to cast it. It's when Harbinger of Tides is the battlefield made to return tapped target creature to opponent's hands it controls. So basically on an attacking step, you can call in and call that in to return to their hand. And then we have Master of the Pearl Trident, which is basically a Merfolk load with other Merfolk creatures you control, get +1 and have Island Walk. And then here is when Tidebender Mage, basically you enter the battlefield, tap 2 green creature your opponent controls. It doesn't untap during the controller's untap phase as long as you control Tidebender Mage. So it's another, this works perfectly against the Goblin deck. And then we have Wake Thrasher. Whenever permanent you control becomes untapped, Wake Thrasher gets +1 till end of turn. So you can basically flash in, and you can flash in another creature, and this one becomes a 2/2. And then we have Merfolk Sovereign. Other Merfolks you control get +1/+1, another Merfolk Lord. And target Merfolk creature can't be blocked this turn if you tap it. And then you have Engulf the Shores, which is return to their owner's hand all creatures with toughness less or equal to the number of islands you control. So this is a pretty nice tempo play where you can cast this. This is an instant. If you want to go in for the Alpha Strike, and hopefully you have a lot of creature, or you have a lot of islands on the board. And then you have Misdirection. You may exile a blue card from your hand rather than pay the Misdirection casting cost. Change the target of target spell with a single target. So if something was attacking one of your lords and you wanted to just go to a chump creature, that's what you can do with that one. And then you have a nice sorcery. Basically, Mind Spring, you draw X number of cards. Just gets refill your hand if you can late game. And then you have Coal Silky, Island Walk. Whenever Coal Silky does damage to a card, you may draw that many cards. Whenever Coal Silky deals damage to a creature, you may draw that many cards. So that's kind of confusing. Is it the damage it does, or basically if you have more than one Coal Silky, you can draw it basically with the Coal Silkies that are on the playing field, on the battlefield. And then we have Tidal Warrior, Merfolk Warrior. Target land becomes an island till the end of turn. So if your opponent doesn't have any islands out there, you can just target one of their mountains to become an island, and then gives you Island Walk. And then we have Root Hunter. Root Hunter deals 1 damage to target or player, which basically it's like a little, you can ping them for chip damage. Scroll Thief. Whenever Scroll Thief deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. Pretty good. Nice tempo play. Got 2 of those. And then we have Steambed Aquatex. Target Merfolk creature gets +1 and gains Island Walk to the end of turn. Target land becomes island to the end of turn. So it does a couple things. So you can easily basically becomes a temporary Merfolk Lord, or you can basically have like a temporary enchant. What is that one? Enchant Seas? Or C, I forgot the name of that one. So I just started playing Magic back into it again. So if I get anything wrong, you can correct me in the comments. Oh, and you get 3 of those. Okay, so we have Info Famine Divers, Creature Island Walk. When Info Famine Divers enters the battlefield, look at the top 4 cards you library and put any of them in the order. So basically, it's kind of like a nice scry ability where you can reorder. You can basically set the order of the cards you want to be drawn for the next 4 turns. Merfolk Looter, draw a card, then discard a card. Nice. If you need card advantage or you want to dump stuff out of your hand. Merfolk Wayfinder. When Merfolk or Wayfinder enters the battlefield, reveal the top 3 cards of your life. Put all 9 cards revealed this way in your hand and the rest at the bottom of the order. So basically, it's a nice, kind of a nice little explore mechanic when it comes into play. Here we go. Marie Regener, or Regener, you can correct me in the comments. It's basically another Merfolk Lord. Whenever you cast a Merfolk spell, you may tap or untap a target permanent. So cast a Merfolk, and if you need to untap your mana, get more mana, or you can tap down one of the creatures. Root Hunter. Another Tidal Warrior. Tidal Courier. Let's see what this one says. When Tidal Courier enters the battlefield, reveal the top 4 cards of your library. Put all Merfolk, reveal the swing your hand, and the rest of the bottom of the order. Target 3 and a blue. Target Courier gains flying till end of turn. That's a nice another little kind of scry ability. And get all the Merfolk in here. If you need to get Merfolk, you get 2 of those. And of course, you get the basic lands. Islands. I think you get like 22 islands or 20. I gotta look at the list. All right, let's put those over the side. And then you'll get Lonely Sandbar, and it's also has cycling. So if you don't need land, you can cycle it out and get another card. And basically, it's just like another island. And then we got Blighted Castract. So basically, it's just you can draw. Basically, it's just a colorless land, and then you can sacrifice it to draw cards. Okay. And then we have Aquatex Will. Put a flood counter on target land. That land is an island in addition to other types for as long as it has a flood counter on it. If you control Merfolk, draw a card. So this is a nice answer to like enhanced land, where you can turn the island and give it Island Walk. You get 4 of those. Essential Scatter, great card. Counter target creature. And then you get Tidal Wave. Creature, create a 5/5 blue wall token with Defender. Sacrifice it to get your next end step. So basically, if you need a strong creature, an instant wall, you can just basically cast this in as a custom blocker. And then you'll have Claustrophobic, which is basically blues and just a removal. Which basically Claustrophobia taps enchants creature, doesn't tap during its phase. And then we have up to 2 target creatures get +0/+2 to the end of turn. Untap those creatures. At the end of next combat tap each creature that was blocked by one of these creatures and doesn't untap. So it's a nice little tempo play. So you can cast this in, block, and then those other two creatures are untapped, and then concentrate, draw 3 cards. And then we have our elemental token creature. So if you play the Legacy, or you play the Modern Merfolk deck with Master of Waves, you can use these in your deck, and then you have your Defender Wall. All right, so let's open the. Let's put these to the side. Don't forget this little buddy. I think this is good, and it's also just let you know it's foil too, so you can see the foil. It's pretty good. I know there's been issues with card stock, but you can see there's a little bend. So there you go. All right, let's go on to the Goblin one. So we have your foil is Warden Instigator, double strike. When Warden Instigator deals damage to an opponent, you may put a Goblin creature from your hand onto the battlefield. So Goblin Berserker. I remember playing mono red Goblins back in the Magic days. It was a pretty fun deck. Okay, so let's do this one. There was it's this little. How could the Merfolk one was so easy, and then this one I can't find. Yeah. Let's put that to the side though. All right, let's go through these. So we have Goblin Diplomats. Each creature attacks this turn if able. So it's basically forcing the creatures to attack if you want them. Instead of they're trying to hold the ground, you make them force them to attack. Other Goblin creatures you attack, we got Goblin Rabble Master. Each Goblin your creature you control attacks if able. At the beginning of your turn, create a 1/1 excuse me. Goblin creature with token with haste. When Goblin Rabble Master attacks, give +1/+0 to each other attacking Goblin. So it's kind of a semi-lord, and you can actually generate Goblin tokens with this guy on the field. Then we have Goblin Chieftain. Haste, it gives other cards you pull +1/+1 haste. That's a nice Goblin Lord. Goblin Goon cannot attack unless you control more creatures than defending players. Goblin Goon cannot block unless you control more creatures than attacking player. This one I remember from back in the day, and this is a nice reprint. It's kind of a goofy card, so he's a big dude. So yeah, big dude. Yeah, nice words. Dark Shiva. All right. Then we have Goblin Raise Runners. Sacrifice a land, put a +1/+1 on Goblin Raise Runners. At the beginning of your end step, you may have Goblin Raise Runners deal damage equals the number of +1 pointers on target player. So it's a nice little, if you're mana flooding, you can sacrifice a land and then put a counter on him, and then he can just be a nice little burn spell for the late game. Here we go. Kenok Mob Boss. Create X 1/+1 creatures tokens where X is the number of goblins you control. So he's like a great top end creature to have and have your board go wide. And Relentless Assault. Untap all creatures that attack this turn. After the main phase, there's another combat phase followed by additional main phase. Kind of like this is a combat, a celebratory combat from Amakat in a sorcery spell. And then we have Blight Effigy. Exile Blight Effigy, exile target creature. It's a kind of nice form of removal. You have Goblin Charbelcher. Reveal top 3 cards. Reveal cards from the top of your library until you reach a land card. Goblin Charbelcher deals damage equal to the number of land cards revealed this way. Target player creature. If revealed the land was a mountain, Goblin Charbelcher creature deal double damage instead. Put revealed cards at the bottom of your order in your life. So basically, it's kind of like you're just hunting for a land card. It's just a good way to hunt for a land card if you need to. But with the cast cost of 4 and cast cost of 3, you don't really need the land at that point. Foundry Street, Denzin, if I pronounced that right. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, Foundry Street does +1 until end of turn. Then we have Battle Squadron. That's a nice flying. It equals to the power top, equals to the number of creatures you control. That's a nice, a little late game finisher. Goblin Tunneler. Target creature with power 2 or less can't be blocked this turn. So nice little make a creature unblockable. Just to get in some chip damage. Barat Brute Menace. It's nice form of evasion. You get 2 of those. Goblin Glory Chaser Renowned. When this creature deals combat damage to a player, if it isn't renowned, put a +1/+1 counter on it and it becomes renowned. So basically, when it deals combat damage, it becomes a 2/2. As long as Goblin Glory Chaser is renowned. It has menace. So nice. So it becomes a 2/2 with menace for 1. Not a bad creature. Early game drop. Emblem Hauler, sacrifice Emblem Hauler, deals 2 damage to target player. Or play 1, trigger, just a nice like bolt in a creature. Oh, Battle Cry, it's the nice one. Whenever creature attacks, whenever this creature attacks, each other attacking creature gets +1/+0. It's a nice 2-drop for 2 mountains. You get 2 of those. And Goblin Gem Palm Incinerator, cycling. It's a nice cycling card. Whenever you cycle Goblin Incinerator, you may deal X damage to target creature, where X is the number of goblins in the battlefield. Yeah, this is a nice form of removal. You can just cycle it late game. Goblin Regulator, haste. When Goblin Regulator enters the battlefield, reveal top 4 cards of your library, put all Goblin cards, reveal this way in your hand, rest in the bottom of the order. And it's kind of basically a nice tutor. You get 2 of those. And then we get another Foundry Street, and then we get our mountains. Mountain. Alright. Then we got, let's put that over here. Then we got Forgotten Cave, just a cycling land that's included in this deck. And then Blighted Gorge. Sacrifice it to have it just deal 2 damage to target player creatures. Just kind of this bolt for the late game. You can sacrifice it. Here we go. Then we got Tribal Instant. Tarfel does 2 damage to target creature or player. Nice. It's just kind of a bolt. You get 2 of those. Brute Strength. Nice little enhancement for creature. Target gets +3/+1 and gains Trample to the end of turn. And then we have Cadwell's Command, which is a great way of just creating 2/1/1 goblins. You get 2 of those. Oh, 3 of those. Ghostfire. What's this? Ghostfire is colorless. Deals 3 damage to target creature acquired. So basically, this is your way to get around protection from red. So you can probably cast this on the Master of Waves to kill him, and then you get 3 of those. And then you got, one of my favorite, Goblin Grenade. In addition to it, 2 additional costs, cast Goblin Grenade, sacrifice a goblin. Goblin Grenade deals 5 damage to target creature card. I love the art of this one. It's one of my favorite ones. And then we have Horderling Outburst. Create 3 1/1 goblin creatures. So basically, it's just a one more basically way to create. It's at sorcerer speed though to create tokens. And then Clever Riot. Creatures you control gain double strike till end of turn. So that's the waste way. And then you have your goblin tokens. So there you go. So all right. So that's what's in the Merfolk versus Goblins duel deck. I'd say this is a pretty good deck. There's a lot of really needed reprints in this deck, and if you wanted to build a modern Merfolk deck, you can take this apart and get some of the key components out of that one. For Goblins, I'm not really too familiar with the Goblin piece, so maybe in a follow-up video I can show you what you can do to make that more of a modern Goblin or Legacy Goblins deck. All right, so thanks for watching this video, and I hope you appreciate it. So leave a like and subscribe if you want to see more videos. Thanks.